Alrighty, round two. So, I was able to do some reading and get caught up on some stuff. Just big refresher because some of it I knew I wasn't giving you the best answer. So, what we want to start with and cleaned up here is one of your questions was how important is case sensitivity? Very when it comes to C. Um, it has at times some fairly strict syntax. And that's, for me personally, I find that a very good thing. It helps to keep certain things that can get very complicated very quickly, sort of on train tracks. Keeps it very cleaned up, very on the straight and narrow, focused. So, case sensitivity is important to C++ and to other languages, but not all languages. Um, and I'll talk about that in a bit, and hopefully with an example here. But let's start over with at the very beginning here, what's going on here. Okay, so hashtag include, and then in the greater than, less than sign, IOStream. IOStream is the input-output stream of the standard library. So it's saying, I want you to include the ability to use the cout command, which we see down here. Now you'll notice already that there's been changes made to the original code that you looked at, and that's going to get explained here in a second. But anyway, this part here, this is strictly a pre-process, which is why it doesn't have the semicolon here at the end. And pre-process, but what I mean by that is, after you complete the program, finish writing it, you're going to compile it with the compiler. And the compiler is a program in and of itself that takes what you've done up now, and let's say specifically under Windows. It'll take what you've done and it'll put it into an exe file that you can now execute, whether that's double click or run from the command line, and then runs the program for you. In this case, in this simulation that we're running on right now, we click this little button, this triangle down here for play, and it runs it for us, and it does all of that in the background. So we can, if you need it, we can talk about compiling after. But for now, hashtag include is a pre-process specifically aimed at the compiler, indicating, hey, I'm going to be using this cout command, and it also gives the option of using cin. And again, this whole thing is a part of the standard library. And the standard library is a basic set of commands for C++, so that you can write programs. But anyway, this next part, this is one part that I needed to get a little bit of brushing up on, because I'd forgotten, because it's looked at as like training wheels, in a sense. So what's going on here is, and it can be very dangerous. So we're saying we're using namespace, and it's the standard library, the std. And what's going on here is, so right here, when we want to use cout, if we don't have this using namespace std, we would have to write, anytime we wanted to use this command, we have to write std : cout to indicate where that's coming from and what we're doing with it. That can get very verbose, lots of extra typing unnecessarily. So to get rid of that, I'll uncomment this, and from here we can now remove std : and it makes it that much easier when we're doing programming, to help with our learning and to cut down some of that extra typing.